So Ms. Tibo was previously here, entered pleas of true to counts 2 and 4 in the motion to revoke probation. And I've received the updated pre-sentence report. Have you all received that updated report? Any additions or corrections to that other than the one that I already made?
Nothing.
And there was no agreement. Is there any evidence with regard to the other counts, Mr. Hoffpower?
Any new failed to register?
No. I don't know. She pled true to counts 2 and 4, so there's obviously some other counts. Do you have any witnesses or evidence with regard to those other counts?
We're going to full abandon those counts. We'll just proceed on 2 and 4.
Okay.
Other than I call my probation officer, but I like her opinion.
Okay, so I guess there was an arrest in
It's in Florida.
Palatka, Florida. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me.
Putnam County.
Okay, so count 1. Why don't you have any evidence with regard to count 1 if your probation officer's here?
We can call. I'm sorry. Apologize, John.
Ma'am, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. You may proceed.
Please take the name from the record, please.
Sarah Simon.
I'm assuming are you the probation officer assigned in Tibo?
I am.
Okay, and how long have you been the first probation officer?
Year and a half.
Okay, and throughout the time that you've been a probation officer, has you complied with the terms of our conditions? In either one of the cases?
Speak up, please. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, she has not.
She's not.
Yeah, okay, in what instances has she not complied?
Tibo has had inconsistent reporting habits. She has not paid towards her processed fees. And she's actually committed to.
Was she allowed, first of all, was she allowed to do her probation in Texas to venture out of the state and be in Florida?
No,
That she wasn't allowed?
she was not allowed.
Is she allowed through her reporting as a sex offender to move or go to another state? How no probation? Is she allowed to leave the state?
Not without.
She pled true to that. Count 1 is that she has not reported since January 27th of 2025.
Is that true? No, that she,
That is true.
and intermittently, or she is fully, she's been called a scholar
She is a scholar.
since that day?
Yes. Or 90 days after that time in January, she became a scholar.
She's been a scholar. Okay, and since she reported since the time on which she was arrested?
She has not reported
Have you spoken to her at the jail?
at the hearing.
Right, did she give a reason for why she didn't report?
She did not.
At this time, I'll pass it on.
Okay, I also would like to know, Ms. Simon, were you able to confirm in any way the arrest? Obviously, she's going to say she didn't do it, and that's okay, but if she was actually just, whether an arrest happened in Florida?
Yes, I did obtain an arrest report from Florida.
Do you have a problem cause? Do you have a full offense?
The full.
Okay, for what crime was she arrested?
There's 2. I think one was petty theft and then obstruction by disguise first.
Was all the same incident?
Yes.
What date did that occur according to the law?
June 29th, 2025.
And were both those committed?
Objection as far as committed. Your Honor, I don't object to her listing evidence as far as an arrest.
An
As far
arrest.
as the actual commission that could violate a right to free cross.
Did the allegation occur?
Yeah, the arrest.
The arrest occurred while she was on probation.
Okay, we just did something again.
Correct.
And those haven't been resolved here yet.
Not to my knowledge.
May I proceed now?
Yes.
She initially failed to report in January, is that right, 2025?
That was the last face-to-face contact I had.
January 2025. Then arrest, June 29th, 2025.
Yes.
So February, March, April, May, June, 5 failures to report. And she went into absconder status March of 2025,
Maybe April,
April,
like 90 days after.
90. So April 2025, she became an absconder. 2 months after that, she was arrested in Florida, is that right?
Right.
So you were aware she was in Florida, which when were you made aware that she was in custody in
I
Florida?
received a phone call from somebody that let me know that she was arrested and in jail in Florida. And then that's when I received this arrest report.
When did there was an MTRP entered into NCIC, I guess, after April? Was there an MTRP, and that's why Florida advised you there was an active warrant for her then?
There was an active warrant for the interim. She was arrested for the.
Right, and that warrant popped up in June in Florida.
Correct.
So from June 29th to today, she's been in custody, is that right? So
I
she
didn't try to
couldn't
open
report
anything,
it
it just started doing stuff
to
on its
probation
own.
department. She's in custody from June 29th to today because she's locked up.
Anyway, I don't care.
That's not her fault that she didn't report. She's in custody, correct? So she can't.
Right.
As far as supervising her, she has reported, you say inconsistently, but that means she has reported some, correct?
Correct.
During the times that she has reported, have you been able to interact with her appropriately? She maintain proper demeanor, that type of thing?
She was, yes, but she was consistently late. I had to reschedule her several different times to get her out of the office.
Have you had any other difficulties with her as far as just maybe perhaps being late or scheduling, as far as your actual interactions? She maintain appropriate demeanor, acted appropriately with you?
Yes.
Would you object to continuing to supervise her?
I would.
Why is that?
My personal opinion, I don't think this is for probation as a priority. She has been on probation, I think, since 2022 and has made no progress in regards to her fees. She did some community service, and that's about it.
When you say progress, how do you measure progress on probation?
Satisfying her court order conditions.
And how has she fallen short other than the reporting and fees and community service?
And she committed.
So is this correct in the, hold on a second, hold on. Is in the updated report, it states that since she was granted supervision, has reported 6 times for scheduled office visits. Is that a correct number? Okay. 6 times since 2022.
I have another question, Your Honor.
Let's let Mr. Kimler finish.
If she were to be extended, which the court has the power to do, I mean, you would continue to supervise her, right? Or would you have a problem with supervising her?
I would work with her.
See any indication of need for some type of mental health referral or anything of that nature? I mean, I understand she's only reported 6 times, as the judge indicated. You see any kind of programs or other things that probation could do for her, to maybe perhaps to get her on the right track?
I think the only other option would be the cognitive check device.
Pass witness.
Your Honor, is this the first time that we've been here on these 2 cases for emotional removal?
No.
There was another time back in 2024 in which we had a hearing similar to this, not me, especially as the attorney, but she was brought in on emotional removal, and her probation was amended, and she was given 30 days in JCCL, and she was continued, and she was added to the mental health case. Right?
The high neediness case, but she didn't report enough to be transferred over to the high neediness case.
So this is not even the first time that we've been here on this, on similar allegations. That was a year in 2024, we did the same deal. Is that correct?
I might follow up on that. I believe in the previous HURP, she had a motion, they did a motion to revoke. She had federal charges, is that right?
Correct.
The NTRP was filed after she received the federal charges.
I believe so, yes.
And she was housed in the cell unit. Were you supervising her then?
Oh, it's not.
Do you know if the detainer was placed on her for that NTRP while she was in federal custody? Did she actually do federal time while she was on probation for this case?
That is why the NTOB was dismissed.
So she received, I think, about a year sentence in federal court for misprision of felony. Is that consistent with what she did?
1 year federal probation.
Prison, she was locked up, right?
She got probation.
She had 1 year federal probation.
Probation, for misprision. Or you don't know? What the offense was.
I thought it was a possession.
Anyway, she received a year of federal probation, so she was not revoked and was allowed to serve the probation concurrently.
Correct.
So during the period that she was on federal probation for that year, do you know if she was reporting to a federal probation officer, or any issues with the federal probation that you're aware of?
According to Ms. Tibo, she successfully completed her federal probation.
And that was at the same time that she was on probation with Jefferson County.
Correct.
Was she reporting to you during that time period as well? What was her reporting record in Jefferson County during that period? I guess it was probably back in 2024.
Well, she's reported 6 whole times since, so obviously it wasn't great even when it was then.
But she was being supervised at least during that period federally, was able to successfully complete that probation, correct? Does that indicate to you that perhaps she could successfully complete Jefferson County probation? She's sufficiently
She has the ability to, but whether or not she has the motivation or the want to do so.
I've passed one.
All right, any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Simon. Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
I would defer to Ms. Tibo, Your Honor. She wanted to address the court. I think she has written to the court, and that letter's incorporated in the PSI.
I received it and read it. Anything else?
No, I mean, when I did fail to report it. Sometimes I was hard with scheduling, but a lot of it had to do with my mother being sick. And I brought my mother sick to her office with me multiple times because I wasn't able to just stay with where she was at. I brought her when I could. I mean, she's passed now, but at that time frame after.
But I mean, we're talking about since 2022.
I was in
Or
a
20
federal facility for a year and a day.
Okay. All right, so here's the thing. I'm not even sure where this agreement came from and why I accepted it in the first place, because giving somebody the minimum of 2 on a probation, so I have really nothing to do hardly on this. But Ms. Tibo, I mean, you've been given every opportunity over the last 4 or 5 years to do everything you're supposed to on this probation, and you've refused to do that. You flat out refused, and we all have different issues that go along with parents and family members and things that go wrong. And instead of, I mean, it looks like, I think one of the things that concerns me the most is that you called June 2nd asking why the police went to your home. June 2nd, you called. And so your probation officer said there's a warrant because of your violations on June 2nd. Then you went to Florida and got arrested for 2 new offenses without registering, without obviously telling anybody where you are and the type of probation you're on, the offense that you're on probation for. That's probably the number one thing that you should do. So fleeing the state when you know that there is a warrant for your arrest gives me no reason to leave you on probation. Unfortunately, I think for me and for the community, the most I can do is 2 years. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find, based on the evidence today, that counts 1 and 3 are true. So I'm going to find you entered your pleas of true to 2 and 4 freely and voluntarily. Find all 4 counts true. Find sufficient evidence to revoke your probation, and cause number 2239100, revoke your probation. Sentence you to a term of 2 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You do receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody, if the law gives you the right to receive. In cause number 2239101, also find sufficient evidence to revoke your probation, and at this time revoke your probation, sentence you to 2 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. These cases will run concurrently, which means together at the same time. You need to sign that, please. I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows there was no agreement. You do have some rights to appeal. You can talk to Mr. Kimler about that, and he'll give you a copy of that as soon as y'all get it signed. Thank you for being here.
What we just witnessed is a story of chances wasted, a case that shows how repeated leniency can eventually run out. Ms. Tibo was not facing her first hearing. She had already been placed on probation for prior offenses, including a failure to register as a sex offender, one of the most serious responsibilities a convicted person carries under the law. In the eyes of the justice system, registration isn't optional. It's a legal duty meant to protect communities and monitor individuals who have already breached public trust once. But despite the court's mercy, she failed again and again. Over several years, she missed reporting dates, ignored probation meetings, and even crossed state lines without authorization. Her probation officer, who had been supervising her since 2022, described a pattern of inconsistency: late arrivals, broken schedules, and a lack of progress toward the conditions set by the court. When questioned, the officer confirmed that Tibo hadn't reported face-to-face since January 2025. Just months later, she was arrested in Florida on new charges of theft and obstruction by disguise. Far from Texas and far from the terms of her probation, the defense tried to bring some understanding to the table, mentioning her struggles and her mother's illness. It's true that hardship can complicate anyone's life, but the law doesn't erase responsibility. The judge noted that she had been given chance after chance, including previous probation modifications and even a federal probation term, which she had successfully completed, but this time she didn't even try. The most damaging detail came when the court revealed that on June the 2nd, she actually called her probation officer asking why police were at her home, meaning she knew there was an active warrant for her arrest. Yet instead of turning herself in or cooperating, she fled to another state. That deliberate choice to run, to ignore, to continue avoiding accountability sealed her fate. Under Texas law, probation is not a right. It's a privilege. It's the court's way of saying, we trust you to correct your path without imprisonment. But when that trust is broken, when a defendant repeatedly violates conditions or commits new crimes while on probation, the law allows and demands revocation. The judge made it clear the system had already done everything it could. Despite multiple warnings, prior hearings, and even lenient sentences, Tibo's unwillingness to change left no room for mercy. In the end, her probation was revoked on all counts. She was sentenced to 2 years in the Texas Department of Corrections, with both sentences running concurrently, meaning she'll serve them at the same time. The judge emphasized that fleeing after knowing there was a warrant and failing to register as a sex offender were not small mistakes. They were deliberate violations of the law and of public safety. It's a reminder that in courtrooms like this across America, justice is not only about punishment, it's about accountability. When the system gives you a second chance, it expects honesty, discipline, and effort in return. For Ms. Tibo, those chances have run out.